Hello everyone, my name is Linda Mahadevi and my student's registration number is 1912021 and today I want to give feedback to lyrics listening instructional design. So at the first one, let's take a look to the activity title. I think lyrics activity title is good and clear. So the activity title is improving listening skill through filling gap technique using short story in the flipped classroom. And then at the introduction, I think we should explain a little about the short story and flipped classroom because here at the activity title, uh, yes, she talked about short story and also flipped classroom. And then at target language and skills and areas, we should add pronunciation in her listening instruction design because at her activity aim, one of her aims is students are able to pronounce correctly the words that they heard before. So it's better to put pronunciation target as her target language skills and area. And then at learner levels, I also agree that this kind of activity is appropriate for the FL students in intermediate level. Then, the activity aims is good, so we have three activity aims. The first is it helps students to improve their listening comprehension, increase students' vocabulary, and make students are able to pronounce correctly the words that they heard before. For activity length is 90 minutes, and I think it's enough because we will also explain the procedure of her learning activity clearly. And then at the preparation time, we put 30 minutes. And I think 30 minutes is not enough for the preparation time. Because in her procedure activity, there is a kind of activity where we give instructions and also give listening tests to the students. So we should put or should add time in making instructions and also making the listening test. And then at the technical requirements and sources, we should put the resources where she got the material about the short story because in the title we don't explain about how she used a short story. So the short story is listening or watching. So she had to make clear how she used the media or the short story. So the teacher who wants to use this design do not confused about it. And then at the procedure, I don't see how we implement flipped classroom strategy because the theory of flipped classroom strategy is when students learn the material first before they come into classroom. So students must have prior knowledge before they going to discussion session in the class. But here, we really don't explain about that. At the first procedure activity, she said that the teacher gives the instruction in the Google Classroom that the student has joined in the Google Classroom. And then the second activity, the teacher makes sure that the students are joined in the Google Meet and make sure the students are filled out the attendance list. The third activity, the teachers explain material about listening comprehension and then let the students to do discussion in Google Meet. So I'm quite confused about the third activity because we will explain again about the material. If we implement flip classroom strategy, so it means that we will not explain again about the material, but the students have to learn the material before going to class and ask about something if they do not understand about the material. And then I also don't see how we will use one of her technical requirements and such as which is Google Classroom because students just join there and then what kind of activity that students have to do there. You did not explain about it, so you have to consider about that again. What kind of activity that students have to do in the classroom? They have to do discussion or another activity. So the Google Classroom that you put in the technical requirement and resources is not useless. And then the fourth activity is students do discussion with their friends about the materials. The teacher guidance to students discussion with 15 minutes. The fifth activity is after the discussion ended, the teachers give the next instructions to fill the listening test. And the sixth activity, the teachers give 60 minutes to fill out the test. And the seventh activity, if the students has difficulties when answering the test, the students can confer in the WhatsApp group. And then the options and suggestion. Here we have three options and suggestions, which are the first is the teacher should make sure that the audio in the form is clearly and there is no annoying sounds. I also agree about that. And then the second is the teacher should make sure the students are doing the Google Meet and fill out the attendance list. And then the third, the teacher should monitor the students and remind the students about time. And one kind of option and suggestion I suggest to you is um, I have said before that she has to consider about how can she implement flip classroom strategy in her learning activity because if she use this kind of strategy in the learning activity, she should monitor how students can learn independently. And then the last is the justification. Um, I also think that in this section we should also explain about flip classroom and also short story. How we implement or use it in the learning classroom because here we just explain about how to use filling gaps in filling gaps in in improving students' listening comprehension. So if we want to use the classroom strategy and short story, so we also have to um, put resources that can prove that the short story is also um, effective and also flip classroom is also effective in improving students' comprehension, student listening comprehension. I mean, so that's all about my feedback. I'm sorry if there is some words that do not well listen for you. So thank you.